We're live. Happy Thanksgiving weekend.
Happy
y'all.
Thanksgiving weekend. But you know, we ain't gonna be here for long. That's what the orange melon felon says.
Look, y'all. On Thanksgiving night, that man had the audacity to talk about and post some crazy ass stuff. So tonight we got to today. It's nighttime here, y'all. We in Lisbon, Portugal. It's 8:30. And we had a celebration today with some friends. We had a second Friendsgiving here today. So
Yes,
you'll have to excuse us. But we need to talk about your second passport. Because on Thanksgiving night, Donald Trump, the melon felon, posted his most extreme immigration threat yet. His most extreme, using language historically only thought to be coming from somebody who was some kind of fascist dictator asshole. That's all I'm saying.
Just like that.
That's just like that. So, y'all know.
This is our fourth holiday season living in Lisbon. Can you believe that?
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Can you guys believe that? Our fourth holiday season.
Here in Lisbon, you know. But we do have permanent residency in Mexico.
Yeah.
But with the orange turned back in, we've been aggressively tracking other global residency routes, citizen laws, political risk. So you know your real option. You have to look at all these things.
Right. Especially the political, and especially today, because with everything, with what the melon felon is doing, y'all, this has ripple effects all over the globe. And if you are not aware of how the United States politics affects other countries, then you might be moving out of the frying pan and into the fire. Okay. And that's not what we want for you. All right. That's not what we want for you. So we are going to talk about that and a lot more. But first, hey, y'all.
Okay.
Let me introduce myself. My name's Halithi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money, travel, and life abroad. We live in Lisbon, Portugal. We have permanent residency in Mexico, and we are searching other residencies.
Yes, we are.
Right? Why, you might ask? Because choices, because the world is changing. Because if you were sitting there and thinking that what was true yesterday is going to be true for tomorrow,
Think again.
I don't know. So, in light of that, we help folks who look like us, who are getting close to retirement age and forgot to plan. We help them get their money straight so that they can retire on time or maybe even early.
Early is good, abroad is even better, y'all.
So, if any of that sounds interesting to you, what we need you to do right now, go ahead. We need you to subscribe, because what we do know is that 50% of you who are watching are not subscribed.
No.
Some of you guys said, I thought I was subscribed, and then find out you weren't subscribed.
Check again, make sure you are.
Yeah, because sometimes YouTube be tripping.
Sometimes
they be tripping, right? So make sure you're subscribed, because what we do know is that this information needs to go out to our community, and we're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. So can we count on you to help us with that?
We're working hard, y'all. Come on now.
Can we help you? Can we count on you to help us with that? If the answer is yes, we will be happy. We will be very happy. All right, sweetheart. So what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about Trump's threat. I mean, every time you turn around, he has a new threat.
Right.
But getting tired of this shit. So, and why Black Americans, why we need a second passport.
That's right. Especially us.
So you got to realize what he is saying. This ain't spin. This is a real deal.
That's right. So we're going to talk about what Trump actually said, what the melon felon actually said, because he said some things that were really disturbing, y'all. And once I heard that, I was like, oh, we got to talk about this. Not only do we have to talk about it, but we have to offer solutions. So we're going to talk about what Trump actually said, because if you're normal, you don't know, because you were dealing with family. You were enjoying your family. You weren't doing what we were doing, right? What we want you to know why this changes everything for us, right? Why this changes everything for folks who consider themselves Black, African American, et cetera, et cetera. Also, we're going to talk about the fastest second passport options.
Yes.
6 to 9 months.
6 to 9 months.
Right?
The safest residency pathways for 2025, which is almost done.
Right.
2026.
Right. And how to build a realistic plan, right, to get out of Dodge by 2026. All right. 12 to 24 months. We're going to talk about that and a lot more. All right. But first, if you're new to our channel, then you might not know. Back in 2018, Rick and I got a wake-up call, y'all. We looked at our money and it looked crazy. But we did get our financial act together. And we went from negative 22,000 in net worth to 1.1 million in net worth. And if we can do it, y'all, you can do it too. You can do it too, okay? So what we need you to do is to subscribe, to hit that notification bell twice so that you know every single time we drop a new video or go live. We have the Side Hustle Challenge coming up the second week in January. If you're not on our email list, you will not get notifications when we start to, I don't want to say still sell tickets, but reserve seats. Okay. We're only accepting 25 folks, y'all. We're only accepting 25 folks. And the reason why is because we're going to do a lot of work to help you get from idea to liftoff, okay, in 10 weeks. That's what we're going to do. All right. So we're going to talk about the fastest residency pathways in 2025 and 2026, how to build a realistic plan. And
we got a trivia question.
Okay, Rick, what is it?
So the trivia question is, which country offers the fastest second passport with no residency requirements? Is it A, Argentina, B, Dominica, C, Canada? Stay with us for that answer. But I think they know. Somebody knows. Y'all know.
Don't Google it.
Do not Google.
Don't Google it. All right, y'all, we watch it. Which country offers the fastest second passport with no residency requirement? Argentina, Dominica, or Canada? What do you think? What do you think? All right, here we go. We're going to say hello to all the folks who are in the chat. If you are watching from the future, hey, let us know what you think about the trivia question. Let us know what answer and let us know where you are logging into. Anybody who's watching it must say hello in the chat. Say hello. Let us know where you're logging in from. And I see Canada. I see Dominica. I see Argentina. I see B, which was Dominica. I see Canada. All right, y'all. I see Canada. I see Canada. I see Dominica. All right, y'all. What is the answer? A is Argentina. B is Dominica. And C is Canada.
Oh, Canada.
All right. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started with with the first part, and then we will say hello to the folks who are in the chat. If you are a member, did you join us an hour before for the behind the scenes and for the chitty chat? Right.
Yeah.
Did y'all join us? And if not, why not? If not, why not? Inquiring minds want to know. We were drinking gingrias and everything else because, of course, we had a party here. All right. Part one. What did Trump actually say? What did he actually say? I was going to put up the Truth Social post. But wait, let me see if I can get it right quick because it is so crazy. It is so crazy what he wrote. And anybody, so let me see, permanently, he said he's going to permanently pause migration from third world countries. How do you permanently pause? Because I thought the word pause meant it was temporary, but we never thought that the American president was that bright, did we? No, we didn't. So he said, I will permanently pause migration from all third world countries, we don't use that language anymore, to allow the US system to fully recover, terminate all of the millions of Biden illegal admissions, including those signed by Sleepy Joe Biden's auto pen, and remove anyone who is not an asset, to the United States. And then he goes on to say, what do you say about Western civilization? Let me look this up too. Go ahead. You got some of the quotes right there. Anyone who's not an asset, what's that? What was he saying?
What the denaturalize immigrants who undermine domestic tranquility?
How does one define that? How does one define that? Okay, I can't find it. I can't find the whole thing. I had it up. Wait, I think I've got it up over here. I've got it up. But he says he's going to remove anyone who is not a net asset.
Mm.
So he should remove himself and his nothing muffin, dumb and dumber kids. Here we go. Deport anyone non-compatible with Western civilization. The melon felon, the president of the United States said, the melon felon said, I will deport. I want to. This is what he wants to do. We'll talk about what he wants to do and what he can do. But we know what he can do and what he can't do is, we don't know. We don't know. But what he said was he wants to deport anyone non-compatible with Western civilization. What does that mean, my people? What does that mean? Not compatible. So does not compatible with Western civilization mean anybody who's anti-racist? Because racism is definitely compatible with Western civilization, and anti-racism is not.
It's not.
Misogyny is really compatible with Western civilization. Anti-misogyny is not. So I just want to know what the definition is, because my idea of what Western civilization is and the melon felon's definition of what the Western civilization is might be two different things. I don't know what you think, baby. What you think?
You know, it sounds like something he said when he abruptly woke his ass up.
He also said only reverse migration can correct or cure this situation.
He just said that because it rhymed.
Migration situation. I don't think he. So you know what reverse migration? That doesn't sound like. Didn't Hitler use those same? Hitler used those same words. But you don't want us to compare him. But you keep doing the same things. If you don't want me to call you an asshole, stop acting like a damn asshole. If you don't want me to call you a racist, stop acting like a racist. When you say reverse migration, I think Hitler. If you don't want to be compared to Hitler, stop acting like him. That's all I'm saying. That would cure the situation for damn sure.
Yeah, it would.
More than reverse migration would. Because what reverse migration is going to do is continue to help destroy America. If you think I'm wrong, sit back and watch. And then he ended with,
you won't be here for long.
Who's he talking to?
Us.
Who is he talking to? Because if they give him the right to unilaterally take away citizenship from naturalized citizens, who's to say that anyone born in the United States now can get their citizenship stripped away because he wants to get rid of birthright citizenship? Well, the only reason Black folks have citizenship is because we were born in the United States. Yeah, but my grandparents, he don't care about none of that. His grandparents or great grandparents were not even American. Okay. Okay. My great grandparents, on the other hand, I know were born on the plantation. American.
Mm.
His great grandparents were born in Germany or some other place in Europe. So we are more American than he. But to hear him tell it, I'm just saying. This rhetoric is unprecedented. Y'all, this is not normal.
No.
I want you to know this is not normal. All right. All right. Now let's talk about what he can't legally do. Yet. Because this is based upon current U.S. law only. All right. He can only denaturalize somebody if they've lied on their N-400 forms, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they concealed
material information,
right? And or the person belonged to some kind of prohibited group. Yeah. Now, at one time, communists were in that group, socialists, terrorists, of course, etc. Right? Like if you belonged, if they have documentation to prove that you belong to that group at the time that you were filling out the paperwork or naturalized, they can revoke. All right, they can revoke. That's what the law says. Yeah. There is no legal definition for net asset. If you're not a net asset to the United States, he's not an MF and net asset. He is a deficit. He is a succubus that just sucks the life out of everything he touches.
Everything.
And yet, white, entitled, and incompetent. WEI. These MFs, if y'all don't know who Larry Daniel Favors is, then okay, now you know. She coined WEI. And she is so on point because every single person who was hired by the Mellon felon is a WEI hire. Every single one. How do I know? Well, Lacey, you don't know. I don't need to know. I know him. And he's WEI.
He is truly WEI.
So anyone that he would hire would be WEI, especially in this administration. I remember when my dad said, look, you need to know everybody's job in the building. You need to become indispensable. This is that, work twice as hard to get half as far.
Yeah, I was going to say, because we heard that too. Maybe right? Worded differently, but we heard it.
Right. That's what that is. Know everybody's job in the building. These mofos. How do you define Western civilization and what do you say, being an asset or adopting compatible? There is no legal definition for compatible with Western civilization, y'all. There is no definition. But this mofo that aids to domestic tranquility, really, because that means that every single ICE agent needs to have their citizenship revoked because they are harming domestic tranquility.
Yes.
Every single white supremacist needs to have their citizenship card revoked because they are anti-domestic tranquility. But y'all ain't trying to hear that. Do we got some crazy people in the chat? We ain't got no crazy people yet.
Yet.
I'm looking because only reverse migration can fully cure the situation. Are you freaking kidding me right now? There is no legal definition for reverse migration. These are political constructs, right? These are political constructs. These
It's
are
not
not
law.
law.
It's not
This
law.
is not law. This man has been flying by the seat of his pants. Flying by the seat of his pants, making shit up on the fly. And people are going for it.
You got to know why this rhetoric is dangerous.
Right? We're going to talk about that in a second. All right, let's see who is in the chat. All right, we'll go back up to the top. Y'all know the deal. Put a Q in front of your question or comment. Hello, Dr. James. Good day. Good
Dr.
day to
James.
you too. ANL cancer. I don't want to say it like that. ANL cancer. That's how I'm reading that. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Please correct me. Please correct me. Right? Correct me. Badia, good to see you. Bonita is in the house.
Hey, Bonita.
Hey, Bobby.
Hey, Bobby.
Bobby is in the house. Miriam, Gwen and Derek.
Hey,
Allison
Derek.
Rowe. All of these members. Look at our members.
Yes.
Hey, LiveWorks. Yay. A Better Life. Good to see you. Good to see you. Rapper MD is in the house. I love it. I love it. I love it. Hello, PE. Hey. Good to see you. Amber Anderson. And of course,
Action VJ.
Of course. Action VJ.
And I know I saw her too.
Who'd you see?
Talking about Killer Queen.
Oh, we did. I think we saw Killer Queen. Pearl Girl is in the house. Bethany, good to see you. Crystal Freeman.
Hey, Crystal.
Winnie is in the house. Tashika Holmes, Bethany, Carla Brown is in the house. Hey, Rhonda.
Hey, Rhonda.
Good to see you. Killer Queen
Killer
is
Queen.
in the house. Hey, Kimmy. Good to see you. Octavia. We got Tashika and Luxury Bucket List.
I saw Yakota.
Yakota. And bye, Pacific Northwest. We see you all. We see you all. We love you guys. Thank you. Thank you for always showing up. Thank you for showing out. Wise words. We love you guys, and we appreciate you. There probably isn't a day that goes by. Politicians say this shit a lot. I don't know what they mean, but there's probably not a day that goes by that we are not thinking about what else can we do to help people see their value? What else can we do to help people see how they can get out? What else can we do to convince folks that they need to get out? And what else can we do to help folks get their money straight? Right?
Yeah.
Like, not a day goes by. Seriously, folks. Seriously. All right, let's move on. So we talked about what the Melon Felon said. And I hate the fact that it seems like it's like, oh, we're going to talk about this. And then he does some shit.
And
then that just blows all of our plans out the water. Right?
Yeah, we wanted to talk about holiday stuff.
Yeah, we were going to talk about holiday stuff, you guys. We were going to talk about holiday stuff, but we're going to talk about why this is so dangerous. Because once a government labels a group non-compatible or non-Western, right? History shows that this does not end well. Citizenship becomes vulnerable to political interpretation.
Yes.
Isn't that what we were just talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what we were just talking about? Like, who is to say what is compatible or an asset, a net asset? It comes from a lot. The man who bankrupted how many companies?
He bankrupt a casino. A casino ain't nothing but money.
Right? Talking about some net assets. Bitch, you don't know what a net asset is? It's kick you in the butt.
Oh, gosh.
I'm sorry. This is dangerous rhetoric because
rights can be quietly
and
not so quietly restricted.
But we've seen that. We have seen that, right? Like, they have said that certain students who write an op-ed in their student newspaper all of a sudden are a threat to national security. Really? Our national security is that weak? The United States national security, according to them, can be taken down by some arbitrary young woman in a hijab who's just writing a little op-ed in her student newspaper. Really?
Not storing government secrets in
your John.
in your bathroom that you ain't reading. He ain't reading them.
No, you know what he was taking? He was taking all them Epstein files. That's what was in there, them Epstein files with the pictures with him and that little girl. That's what that was. Surveillance and targeting will increase. We saw that after 9/11. We still have not ratcheted back our rights from the Patriot Act, y'all. And right now, as we speak, Palantir, the government, and AI tech bro folks are showing the government how to, and ICE, that department just bought the software to be able to tap into your phone without your knowledge. And listen, turn on the camera, right? Turn on the camera without you knowing, turn and listen. They didn't have to tap. Like when I was a kid, our phones were tapped, our house was bugged. They somehow had to get into our house to do that, or send someone in our house to do that. They ain't got to do that no more.
Mm-mm. It's right there in your phone, in your pocket.
Right there. Right there. Okay. These are facts. Google it.
Yeah.
Google it.
Deportation becomes a policy tool as it is now. It doesn't become, it already is.
When you use language like that, when they are deporting, no, they're not deporting, when they are kidnapping folks off of the street whose home country was, say, El Salvador, but they're sending them to the Congo. What's wrong with that picture? And if you think FBAs that they're not going to come for you, you're looking mighty Haitian today. Don't get too cute.
Crazy thing is, Black Americans have been targeted by this language before.
Right? We know this. And this is why we know that Black America always has to pay attention to what is going on. Because if a president can decide who is non-compatible,
who lacks Western interests and values,
who undermines domestic tranquility,
he can target any community that challenges white supremacy. There's
no world where this language doesn't eventually reach us.
It's coming.
Okay? There does not exist a world where you start talking about like undermines domestic tranquility and all of these like very ambiguous Western values and all of this nonsense. When they start talking like that, it will eventually hit our doorstep. It hits our doorstep because just like in Chicago, 100% of the folks in that apartment building were Black and brown folks, y'all. Guess how many people got arrested when they rounded up Black and brown people in the middle of the night with no search warrant and just grabbed them and said, "We heard that." Hog-tied them, grabbed babies out of their apartment, half dressed, and zip-tied them. Guess how many people got charged? That's right, none. None. We've got our babies right now who are traumatized for life because of that bullshit. What are you doing about it? What are you doing about it? There is a fierce urgency of now. This is no longer about someday when I retire.
Or maybe one day I'll live abroad.
Right? This is not about that. This is right now. I'm thinking about Portugal. I'm thinking about Panama. I'm thinking about Mexico. I'm thinking about, right? This is about right now. This is about protecting your mobility,
your safety,
protecting your rights before the end of 2026. Okay? We're talking about getting out of Dodge before the end of this. I'm gonna say this year because ain't nobody ain't not that much more left of 2025, right? That's what this is about. That's what this is about. Okay, let's see what you guys are talking about, and then we will get to the list and the answer to our trivia question. All right. Let's see. Hey, Ailey, good to see you. Jametta, good to see you. There's Shakota.
Avocado Queen.
Oh, you just got residency in Mexico as well.
Yes, congratulations.
Yay. I haven't heard, Benita, about the influx of Israelites into Portugal. I don't think there's an influx of anybody, Benita, because their shit is so far behind. I don't see how anybody could be influxing into Portugal. We had our renewal appointment before we left for vacation.
September 9th, I believe it was.
September 9th. We haven't heard jack squat from them.
Nope.
Not jack squat. So I'm not sure who's influxing. And I don't even know how they could. Like it's so goofy right now that the only thing that you can do is laugh. The only thing that you can do is laugh.
This is true.
I can't look.
And we've been yelling from the top of the mountain.
I cannot say anything. You know? I cannot say anything because you're right. You're right. We cannot say that all of our kids have passports. Mm-hmm. We cannot say that all of our kids have passports, y'all. So look, don't feel bad because they don't even listen to us. So we were very, very honored and blessed to be able to spend Thanksgiving with the younger crew, and then parts of our older crew. And this is the third year that Christina and Aman from Our Rich Journey have hosted Friendsgiving / Thanksgiving at their house. And this is the second year at their current house, but the first time we came, because last year we were in Thailand. But I'm chuckling because they've moved more times since we've lived here than we've moved, and that's hilarious. For them, it's normal. But I have to say, and as I'm marking this stuff, I have to say that what has been built here is phenomenal as far as community goes. But then I also have to say that if you want to move to Portugal, you really, really have to want it, because right now the government is acting kind of goofy. And I'm just going to be real. It's acting kind of goofy. And that's why we haven't been really talking up Portugal, because I can't talk up something. I can't, encourage somebody to move to bureaucratic chaos. And that's what's going on right now. Now, do you feel that in your everyday life? No. No, we don't. You only feel it when it's time to renew. Right, and stuff like that, right? So for those of you who don't know, as I'm sitting here and I'm marking your guys' questions. Hey, Anthony. Mr. Moses. It's interesting that you have the name Moses, but you're not leading people out of purgatory. Anthony, I am happy that you are happy being oppressed. I am happy that you are happy to stay in the matrix. If being in the United States with all those white supremacist assholes who want you dead brings you joy, then that brings us joy, because our joy comes from our people finding their joy. And if you find your joy in your own oppression, then I applaud you. As for me and mine, we don't owe the United States jack shit. They can kiss my black ass and give me my reparations, bitches. That's what they can do. As a matter of fact, if it weren't for people who look like us, there would be no United States. But they still want to hold us hostage and keep us scratching and surviving. Did I miss one? Unless it has a Q in front of it.
It has a Q in front of my name. No Q?
I marked
it. Oh,
it.
you marked it. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't see that clip.
Uh-huh.
I didn't see it.
Look, I'm not playing, because these people, look. And as for me and mine, back to the FBA bullshit. I understand that for those Black folks whose parents came here after we changed the Civil Rights Amendment, and now their parents were able to come to America, that they too have colonized minds, just like Mr. Moses has a colonized mind. And so I understand that there are folks who look like us with colonized minds who are against us. I understand that. Nobody has been left unaffected by white supremacy. You're looking mighty Haitian to me today. Are you eating your cats? Are you eating your dogs? Huh, Moses? You eating your cats and dogs? Because you look Haitian. Prove you're not. Prove it. Are you walking around with your passport and your birth certificate? Because you better. You better walk around with your papers. Mr. and Mrs. FBA, walk around with your papers, because there is no difference in how you look and how a person from Haiti looks. How a person from I'm no Black, I'm Dominica. No difference in how you look. No difference. So you can talk about FBA and all this stuff if you want to. And all of you who claim to be FBAs, I want you to really dig down deep and do the history of where it came from and who started that and why. Whose best interest is it for Black people around the planet not to stick together? Who would be best served if we didn't stick together?
Give them some initials, give them a title, separate them from the others.
Who would be best served? I'm just wondering, if you ask the question and the answer is not us, we might have an issue. I'm just saying, we might have an issue. Okay. What can you do if your plan was for Latin America, but that melon felon is destabilizing the region? I would still go. I would still go. He is trying to destabilize the region, and he's definitely. But I was talking to my tutor lives in Venezuela, and I just talked to her last week, and I was like, "Okay, baby, what's going on? How are you? How is your family? Are you guys stressed out? What is going on?" She's like, "We have so much drama here that until there's a bomb drop, we're just not thinking about it because there's just too much other stuff going on." Oh, she lives there. She's born and raised there. Nothing I could say. I don't know, right? We would still be considering Colombia if if we were in the States right now. We would still be considering Mexico, Panama, Colombia. I know what he said about the Panamanian Canal, and I don't think that the UN will let him do that. I just don't. Okay. Amber, my membership link does not work. Send us an email, and because I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. Your membership link doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. So send us an email, hello@ourBlackUtopia.com. Let's never let in. Hey, Benita. That might have happened. That might have been Rick's fault. I'm sorry, baby. I wasn't the host tonight, so I'm gonna blame it on him. Which country does not blame immigrants and expats for their problems? Any country that is doing financially well. So if you all know your history, then you know every time there is economic strife, they blame immigrants or they punch down. Okay? Throughout history, this is what white folks have done. Now, prior to the 1600s, 1400s, I don't know. But in modern history, that's what they do. This is what happens.
Mm-hmm.
When Maslow's hierarchy of needs, when that lowest hierarchy, right, that survival, if that's not met, then people are going to look around to blame somebody because God forbid they take responsibility. You know, it's interesting to me who is always talking about taking responsibility, but they never take responsibility for their own actions. I don't know. This is what they do. Are they doing that in Portugal? Yes, they're doing that in Portugal. They're doing that in Western Europe. They are blaming us. And but here's the funny part. It's only a few because I ask every single Portuguese person that I meet who is willing to talk. I ask them. And the young Portuguese people say, "Oh, that's just." He said the good real Portuguese, we like immigrants. He said only assholes don't. Basically, that's what he said. But the Trump party here, it's gaining momentum. We're not going to lie, it is gaining momentum.
Yeah.
It's so easy to turn around and blame. And you know, all of us, everyone who is watching, has a responsibility to hire people who are smarter than that. Because only idiots and dummies just say, well, it's his fault. Okay, that's fine. It's his fault. But if you eliminate that person, the situation still has to be fixed. Somebody still has to take responsibility for the situation and fix it. It doesn't, at some point, it doesn't really matter whose fault it is. The only thing that matters is who's going to fix it. I just cannot believe that adult human beings are this idiotic. They sound like high school and middle school children. But that is the case. They can have this dumpster fire. That's the United States. I am divesting my funds. I suggest, and you FBAs, you keep those 401ks in 100% American companies. You do that. And let's see how that works out for you. Let's see how that works out for you. What you know what's so crazy about this notion of I'm gonna stay and fight. My ancestors built this and blah 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 whoop de woo and all this nonsense. Black folks, you ain't got shit. Well, what about Oprah? If you have to point to two people, that means you ain't got shit. Because you're pointing to the exceptions to the rule, not the rule. The rule is you ain't got shit.
Nope.
You ain't gonna get shit. And you ain't gonna never have shit if you stay in the United States. It was not built for you. It is operating as it was designed to exclude and oppress you. And so, all of you FBAs who are reveling in your oppression, don't ask us to suffer with you, but we will come to collect any reparations. And we will fight in peace from abroad because we can do that, see? Because as long as the United States continues to tax us, and they're one of the few countries in the whole wide world that will tax you wherever you go, up there with like all those shithole countries he was talking about. Yeah. So as long as you gonna tax me, you owe me. So some people in the chat probably need to read a book before they comment. I'm serious. I'm sorry. But seriously, like, don't come arguing with us and you ain't read a book. Just don't. I'm not talking to you, Allison. You know that. All right. The USA is losing billions in taxation from the immigrants that are being detained and or deported, right?
That's
like,
true.
make this make sense. You want to talk about a net asset and you don't even know what return on investment is, Melon Felon? Because if you did, you wouldn't have bankrupt 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 companies, including a casino. Give me a break. Right now, Rick and I are paying into a Portuguese social security system that we will never be able to take advantage of. Now, Portugal, why you want us to leave? They don't want us to leave. A third of them want us to leave. 2/3 want us to stay. But you know what I'm saying? It does not make sense. It does not make sense. The exclusion language is very much like German leaders' words.
Yes, it is.
That's what we see. When rhetoric like this is used, you can best believe, because they used rhetoric like this for Black folks before, you can best believe we are in their minds when they are thinking, maybe some other folks too, but we are definitely there as well. All right, y'all? All of you all who believe they cannot deport us because there is no place to deport us to.
Right.
What about the people who are being deported to countries that are not their home countries? Yeah. Please don't be that naive. Do I hope that we are wrong? Hell yeah. I hope I'm wrong. I hope next year that you all say, see how least he did. It wasn't that bad. I hope. But what if it is? Are you ready? Are you prepared? Because I know that some of you watching are naturalized citizens from Jamaica, right? Grenada, Bahamas, wherever, right? Maybe even the UK. You're naturalized citizens in the United States. And you don't have a passport from that other country because United States, right? Your people from Barbados, you came over at 1 year old. And now you no longer have a Barbados passport.
Right.
And they're about to snatch your United States passport. You guys, this is serious. We cannot be stateless. Do you think that the melon felon cares whether you are stateless? No. No. Just like the abusing husband does not care where that wife goes once he's put her out onto the streets, penniless. Don't care. Throw it out in the snow. Don't care.
Mm-hmm.
The melon felon does not care. He doesn't even care about his own people. So you know good and damn well he doesn't care about anybody who is watching this channel right now or in the future. There is no other way to say it. This is language that is akin to Nazism. Does he think the white man sprung like potato weeds? I don't know. But you see, this is the thing, Winnie. These people have not read books. He didn't even know what groceries were. Before it's a grocery. Oh, that's an interesting word. Grocery, an important word, grocery. Really? This is what we're doing right now. This is what we doing.
What are we doing?
This is what we doing. All right, we got to get to this list. So let me continue on. Have you heard anything about Israeli migrants? Okay, so you read that one, John. I haven't heard anything about it, and we'll look on Portuguese news and put something on IG or something, or maybe a post. I haven't heard anything about it. I just know if it's an influx, that means it has been done by the government. But just people showing up, they can't handle that. They just cannot handle it. The asylum seeking from Cuba who receive public assistance and or return to Cuba for vacations are now on the list to get kicked out. Yeah, because you cannot say that you are a refugee and that you're afraid for your life if you stay in your home country, and then every Christmas you going home to see uh big abuela in them. But you're scared. I will vote, but Donald Trump. The compatibility phase refers to what? Now you know we know the language. You know we know them dog whistles. Right? Wise words. You know we know. Compatible with Western civilization. We know exactly what that means. The FBAs don't know. What's happening with all the Israelites trying to get residency? Why does this keep coming up? What? Okay, okay, let me Google this, because what the hell? Why do you guys keep? And what, we have not heard anything. Nobody in our WhatsApp groups are talking about this.
No.
So I'm not sure what you guys are seeing over there. But I got the Israelite fleeing, because that's how y'all making a thing, to Portugal. Yeah, 2025. Like, not just in general, because cost of living. Google said cost of living. So, following the October 7th attacks. Okay. I don't know. We'll look at it. I don't see anything right off. I don't know why I did that. So, okay, best affordable area. All right. Best affordable area in Mexico to escape to. Safe, okay, with the Black woman. The most affordable places you probably haven't heard of. But within the places that you've heard of, that have a community, I think the cheapest ones are still Merida and Querétaro. I think those, right?
Yeah, I mean that
right
that
now,
right now,
offhand, that have a Black community that we know, right? Tulum and Playa del Carmen, get away from the beach a little bit.
Does she want to live out in the country where we were when we went to the lake? Nothing out there.
Yeah.
You can probably get out there with real cheap. That's away from everything.
Yeah, we were glamping in. So Querétaro is both both like a region or state and a city. So we left the city of Querétaro, but we were still in the region of Querétaro or state. I don't know, y'all. But we were out there. We were out in the rural areas of Querétaro, and we went glamping on a lake. It's so pretty. We'll have to.
Very beautiful.
I think I might have put an Instagram about it. So if you're not following us on Instagram, do that. We put some behind the scenes. All right. Have you heard about Caroline Levitt's brother's ex-feet?
Yeah.
Okay. Caroline Levitt's brother's ex-feet, my brother's cousin's friend's sister. I know she is not sitting in a detention center in Louisiana waiting. Oh, she is now, I think, waiting to be deported. Yeah, I did hear about that. She's been here since she was 6 and owns 2 businesses. Yeah, I heard about it. I'm happy for her.
But because the brother is trying to take the kid, their child,
away from her. Oh, so they're in a domestic dispute, and so he called.
Mm-hmm. They're not together. He has another woman that he's with, But him and the sister-in-law had a child
So the
together.
question is, did this woman know he was like that before? Or did he just become a racist? See, that's where my pity scale lies. Did she know she was marrying a racist? And she's fine with that. She just didn't like the fact that he didn't clean up the kitchen. Where we at? I don't know. I don't know this woman. So I don't know. Hey, no, I'm not rested. I'm not rested yet. Did you see the email?
No, I haven't. I haven't looked at my email today.
So I'm not sure, personal wisdom, when you sent the email to Rick, but can you resend it? I'm not saying that we're not behind, because we are. We are. Folks are distracted by their problems and deficits, have low supply of hope. I know. And they have a low supply of hope because they're not looking for it. They're not looking for hope, because if you're looking for hope, then you're looking for solutions. And if you find solutions, and you find solutions from people who are like, yeah, well, hell, if they can do it, I can do it too, then you have hope, right? But if your woe is me and it must be nice, and all you're going to say is, yeah, but, well, here, you could do this. Yeah, but if your answer, if your default is, yeah, but, yeah, you ain't, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do.
See how that works out for him.
How does country A get to tell country B what the fuck they can do with their airspace? Make that make sense. Make that make sense. And what's so funny, this is what's really funny. This is what's really funny, you guys. In South America, a good portion of the people consider themselves white. I bet you the president of Venezuela considers himself white. But I bet you Trump does not consider him white.
No.
And that is hilarious. That is hilarious, because it's such a made-up construct. And there you go. And that is why it's all bullshit. Halisi and Rick, the more I watch channels encouraging us to leave the US, it's starting to seem like the only ones who can leave are Black folks with resources. Hey, Avocado Queen. That's not true. But you can't be resourceless, okay? A. B. Resources, y'all, is not just money, okay? Relationships are resources. There's lots of things that are resources. So don't get caught up and think and looking at a number and saying, until I reach this number in my bank account, I can't go anywhere. Maybe if there is a number, maybe you can reach that number outside of the United States. Now, the more you wait, the more expensive it's going to be, especially because the value of the dollar is going down. Excuse me. So even though, let's just say, to qualify for Mexican residency, you only have to be bringing in $48,000 a year. The reason why it changes is because once they give a raise to their people in pesos, and now they reconfigure based upon the current exchange rate, that $4,000 might now be $4,800. Even though it really hasn't gone that much up that much on their side. But because y'all elected the melon felon, or you allowed your cousins to stay their asses on the couch, or you allowed your cousins to vote third party, we are where we are. But that does not mean that if you don't have 2.5 years of living expenses saved, that you cannot leave. you have to assess your own risk tolerance and your ability to make money from wherever you are. Now, my mantra is I can make money anywhere, and making money is easy. So that should be your mantra too, because words are powerful, right? Words are powerful. All right, we got to get to this list. Were you going crazy while waiting on your approval? We're on day 49 and going crazy. No.
No.
And we just assumed that we would be approved, because if you meet the criteria, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get approved. So, yeah. And there's been people who didn't get their renewals approved, but it wasn't arbitrary. That, they want to make sure that you still have the financial wherewithal. And if you only have $500, $600, $700 in the Portuguese bank account because all your money's still in the United States, and they're like, okay, are you really living here? Or are you just camping here? What you doing? So, is there a link where I can get direct instructions on how to make my move? I'm tied to relocate, or I think, to relocate in the next 6 to 8 months. Yes. So we have the Move Abroad Toolkit. And it will walk you through step by step how to, did you put it in there? Yes, thank you, baby. How to move abroad, okay? Everything that we learned to move abroad is in there. And I'm looking for it. And I know somebody probably just put it in the chat because I don't see it. That's weird.
Move abroad. Oh,
that's really weird. Okay, y'all, I gotta go get it. Now I'm now I gotta go get it. All right, so yeah, but in the description below, I do know that the Move Abroad Toolkit is there, and that's really weird that I didn't see that. Did you see it? No, that's Move Abroad Money. That's not it. Where is it? There it is. I didn't see it. Did you see it?
Yeah, I copied over. It should have been there. Too much blue.
I don't see it. I'm about to put it in the chat right now. And I'm sure that Action VJ or Greta probably beat me to the punch, but there it is. Now, that is how to make the move in general. The specifics on your country are your specifics, right? So for some countries, you must start the process in your home country. In other countries, you must start the process just outside of their country. Okay. And then in some countries, you can start the process in any country where you have legal residency. So, for instance, if that's a country, then we could start the process here in Portugal because we are legal residents of Portugal. We could start the process in Mexico because we're legal residents of Mexico, even though we're only citizens of the United States. So, yes, in general, the Move Abroad Toolkit will give you a plan on everything that you need to do or the questions that you need to ask so that you can move abroad successfully and not make the same mistakes that we made. But there's still going to be some questions that you need to answer specific to yourself. I am so afraid. I'm sorry, Jewel.
That I have time to get out. Just pay my last credit card payment.
And now I have to save money to leave. Don't be afraid. Be cautious, right? Don't be afraid. Plan. And let that fear activate you, okay? Don't let it paralyze you. Because the bottom line is that if you're planning right now and you're trying to get out in the next year or so, chances are it's going to be cool. Because this man's got so much stuff to worry about. And he hasn't really been doing any of it well. even
No.
like, even like, even his Gestapo ICE agents, like they haven't even been doing that as well as like if this were the real Gestapo, you know, Granny could not kick him, kick them out her store. Talk about get out. Shame, shame, shame. It's like all you got to do is press back a little bit, and all of a sudden they start walking away.
Because
It's
they're not
crazy.
real. They're not real. They're a bunch of fake wannabe idiots.
Exactly.
God,
Exactly. So
I
you
want to
know,
be a cop. I want to carry a gun.
I know quite a cybersecurity professionals with old flip phones. Oh, you know quite a bit. Okay, I'm not sure why QM wanted this up, but what I say is when we're talking about how they are tapping into our phones, right? And spying on us, yeah, there is something to be said about them flip phones. My mom used to say, I'm not gonna get took. She was saying it for different reasons, but she might have been onto something without even knowing it. Once relocated to a safer country than here, should Black folks give up US passports? We're living in the housewives of America. Yeah, no, not
Mm-mm.
yet. Not yet. I think it's a wait and see, right?
Mm-mm.
Because there's going to be a fee to pay to give up citizenship, right? And then you've got to make plans. If you've got family in the United States, you've got to figure out where do you have a passport, and do you believe that that passport will always allow you easy access to the United States? I don't want to ask for permission to visit my son. I don't want to ask for permission to visit my mom. So as long as I still have family in the United States, I'm probably not giving up my passport. And I ain't got another passport. So
Yeah, you
you can't
better
give up
have
your
one.
passport until you got
You
another
better
one.
definitely have one
Right?
to a good place.
Exactly. To a place that to me is as strong or not stronger than the United
Yeah.
States. I mean, I will take a second passport, period, but I could only give up United States citizenship if the passport that we had was stronger. But here's the thing, what is strong today might not be strong tomorrow. How young are you? If I were 80, I would approach this differently than at 60. At 60, if you plan to live for 30 more years, the world is going to look a lot different 30 years from now. And so even this EU passport that we want, this Portuguese passport, may not be that strong 20
Mm-mm.
years from now. If the BRICS nations and the global South do what people are expecting them to do, who knows? All right. So I want you guys to stay nimble. I want you to be global citizens. I want you to think about all of this differently. Um, Even for those of you who like to homestead, who need to nest, so to speak, the notion of this is my forever home. I personally would let go of that because with AI and with the coming chaos that is inevitable, I would not want to be glued to one place.
No.
And so, for all of you who have kids and not adult kids, I mean, you have adult kids but not kitty kids. Why be glued? Why be glued? It's a little bit harder to do that when they're under 18, right? And you want to create some stability and make sure that they have an opportunity to make friends with the folks in the neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. Whoop de whoop. Got it. Get it. Good. Right. But for everybody else, let's start thinking a little bit more globally.
So,
Okay. So let's let go of that. Several South American countries have agreed to
agree.
accept ICE captives.
Mm.
I wouldn't go to those countries. I mean, I might visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. You know, I don't know, QM. No one really
No one knows.
knows.
It's hard to say.
No one really knows. The economists are saying that you should probably be divested from the dollar within the next decade. I would say we will know. We will definitely know when it's too late. Um, so far, it's interesting because sometimes they obey the courts, sometimes they don't. Sometimes the courts act in accordance to what we expect, and sometimes they don't. So that's why it's hard to tell because with humans involved, you just don't know. Like, had this been 3 months, 4 or 5 months ago, would we have said, "Oh yeah, so Marjorie Taylor Greene's gonna turn on Trump, and he gonna turn on her, and then she's gonna say, ooh, they threatening me, I'm quitting." Would we have said that? I don't know. And anybody who says they do know, don't believe them. But, but no, but get out. Scouting trip is booked. May have to leave first and scout later. Right? We just had broke bread with one of our friends from Colorado who came here with no scouting trip, moved here sight unseen, and is living her best life. Okay, so you have to know you. Is this a thing? CK? Passport workshops? Really? Okay, I want to hear. If you're watching from the future, let us know if you think we should do passport workshops. If you're in the chat, let us know if you think we should do passport workshops. Don't just put yes, because then I won't know what you're answering to, but say yes, passport workshops or something. PP workshops, whatever. Huh. I, and I'm not being facetious or anything. It's just sometimes you don't remember not knowing. You know what I mean? And so what seems like duh to some people, it's like, wait a minute, would that have been duh 20 years ago for me?
Yeah.
Maybe not. You see what I'm saying? So I'm really not being facetious. I want to know if you all think that this is something that y'all need. All right, my children have their passports, yes, but for their children, I offered to pay for them, but they are slacking. I don't know how old your grandkids are, but yes, we can attest that our family acts the same way. There was a news article about passport renewals and citizenship for yes, Farrick Jews of Portuguese descent in Israel. Oh, but I don't think an influx. Oh, interesting. Yeah, and maybe there was an influx because they're just about to cancel that, if I remember correctly. Don't you remember hearing that they were about to cancel that?
From my understanding,
They already did,
they had done it because my friend from the United States, his wife.
Right. So we know somebody who got a passport.
Who got her citizenship, passport and citizenship.
But her great great grandfather not only was a Jew, but was also from Portugal. So, but yeah, that's why we heard about it being canceled. She's the one who told us, huh? Yeah. It's interesting. And this is why, why are you making friends with? This is why it's important to make friends with other immigrants because, like, I don't know. I have no idea that, like, there's no one except for that one person in our circle who's got access to potentially obtain some kind of citizenship or residency based upon being Jewish. Right. So, I don't know. No. We've been, I know there's a lot of Black Jews, but still, we've been planning since the beginning of the year. Good. It's time to go. It's time to go, Benita. It's time to go. I met you both at the first ORJ Portugal meetup. Oh, okay.
Cool.
Are you from Atlanta? Are you one of the ones from Atlanta that also watches Stephanie? What happens to flights going and coming to those newly banned third world countries? It's are always so short-sighted, right?
Yeah,
Like
they are.
racism is expensive, y'all. It is expensive. And don't be stupid and racist. Then it's even more expensive. I don't know. I don't know what look. He is not thinking things through. What is going on in Portugal right now? They're still extending residency to 10 years. Okay, so it's not about residency, Tashika. Here's what the problem is. So the Trumper type people here in Portugal, it's called Chega. They want to they're wanting to blame somebody for the fact that there's still a lot of Portuguese who are underpaid.
Underpaid housing.
They're underpaid even though there's all this money coming into the country. Where's that money going? Where's it going? I don't know. Anyway, so there's always going to be there's a housing crisis. The world has a housing crisis because of COVID and everything else. So blah blah blah. Right. Anyway, so that wing wants to change citizenship from 5 years to 10 years. And then, but they're being nice to folks from their former colonies. They don't call them former colonies. They call them Lusophones. So people who are Lusophones from Brazil and from Mozambique and Angola and places like that, they are talking about 7 years for them. Okay, cool. But that doesn't affect me because I'm already in the process. No, that affects you too. No. See, that's the problem. And that's the problem that all of us have. So even if the president were to sign this into law, and he hasn't yet, they haven't had the final vote yet. Or at least they didn't before Thanksgiving. I haven't paid attention since then. Even if, then it's probably going to go to court to see if it is constitutionally legal to have people who are already in the process and have already been promised something to change it midstream. If the court says, yes, that is legal, then that's going to be very problematic because now I would say people will stop coming to Portugal. Because if you can change it midstream, who's to say that when we get to year 9, you don't say, 15 years now.
You can't be trusted.
Now the trust is gone, right? And so the unintentional consequence of all of this that I think a lot of Portuguese don't realize is that it applies to all immigrants. They just want it to apply to some immigrants. Right? They're like Trumpers, right? So Trump, the Trumpers said, oh, no. He's just going to get out the bad ones. That's what he's going to do. No, deport means deport. And yes, oh, you're from Ireland? Deport. You're a white person from Argentina? Deport. Right? And so some Portuguese people, and we've had these conversations, have been, I'm for this and blah, 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 blah. And they said, oh, so you want me to leave? Oh, no, I'm not you guys. Yeah. We want them to leave.
Yeah, until you explain it to them.
And we're like, but the law is the law. Immigrant is an immigrant. It doesn't matter if they're from a quote unquote shithole country or not. In your mind, what a shithole country is. Right? They forget racism affects everybody. And you don't want to be racist against Americans or bigoted because some of them are white, but you want to be racist against this group or that group. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right. Thank you. As you all know, every single penny of our donations goes to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling. That's our financial freedom program for late bloomers like Rick and myself. Okay. And that right now comes with monthly group coaching. That's going to change. So if you want the monthly live Q&A sessions with Rick and myself, you want to sign up for Beyond the Bling now. Because that will be a changing. Wait, did this get marked twice? I think that got marked twice. Okay, and then our tried and true. Hey, Dennis, thank you. Did you think? Do you think, as MTG says, enough rethugs will quit and Mini Mike and vote Mini Mike out as speaker so that the Dems have the House before the midterms?
That'd be great, but hey.
I haven't heard her say that. Is that what they're talking about? That would be interesting. That would be interesting. I really think that if we get if the Democrats and the few really get the Epstein files, and they start really doing these depositions and stuff, and it starts getting close, and just like Watergate, see what people forget. They're like, well, the Republicans voted to they were going to vote to ostracize Nixon. No, they were not. No, they were not. They were sticking by their man until the tapes came out. Until the tapes came out. And then they were like, oh, well, now that I know, blah, 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 blah. Right. So I only think it has to be something like that, because they have never been on the right side of history. Since in the 1900s and the 2000s, they ain't never been on the right side of history. Now, before that, all right. We are going to move on, you guys. We're going to move on, move on, move on. All right, let's get to it. Trivia answer. Trivia answer. So the question was, what country had the quickest route to citizenship? And the answers were Canada.
Canada, C.
Yeah. Dominica.
Dominica was the first one.
And what was the other one? I can't remember what was A. I can't remember. And I'm not going to go back up there. But the answer is B, Dominica. Dominica. 6 to 9 months, y'all. 6 to 9 months to citizenship. All right. So we are going to talk about.
So A was Argentina.
Argentina. Yeah. Argentina's pretty short too, if I remember correctly, though. If I remember correctly. Why isn't this playing? Is that the end of that? Okay. Do I need to copy and paste this back in there?
No, you should be able to go all the way. Well, yeah, you should. That was part 2.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's get to the list. Oh, Argentina. There it is. Yeah. Let's get to the list. Number 1. Okay, so the top tier. This is tier 1. Buy a passport the fastest way. The fastest way is always to buy a passport. I don't know what happened to this. I'm going to go ahead and grab this information. Now, you can get citizenship in 6 to 9 months. The first one is
Dominica.
And what is the amount?
From $200,000.
$200,000. Now, I know that sounds like a lot of money, but if you only have to spend $200,000 and it is a house, and for that you can get citizenship and you can live in that house, then it's kind of worth it, right? Especially when you think here in Portugal, it was like 500,000. Okay, 500,000, even when they had the golden visa for real estate, right? So it was 500,000. Number 2, Antigua and Barbuda, 230,000. From 230,000. So if you're selling your home and you can buy a home in this new place, cash, citizenship. The only reason why I would consider doing this, like there was a time when I was like, oh, hell no, I ain't getting up off that much money, because we ain't got it like that. Yeah, net worth of 1.1 million, but it's not all cash. It's net worth. That means we've got real estate and other things all equaling 1.1 million. So when we're talking about getting up off of $230,000 cash, it's more than a notion. It's more than a notion. The third one, so we got Dominica, we've got Antigua and Barbuda. The third one is
St. Lucia.
St. Lucia. No, you say, because this amount. It's incredible.
From $100 to $150,000 for single applicants.
$100,000, but so $150,000 sounds like a real estate investment. $150,000, y'all. And I want to say Colombia is $150,000 too, but I don't think that's to citizenship. I think that's to residency.
To residency.
Yeah, but still, 150,000. Okay, so we got Dominica, Antigua, Barbuda, Saint Lucia, Grenada. Was it Grenada that doesn't have snakes, or was that Barbados? I can't remember which
I
one.
think it was Barbados.
Was it
I
Barbados?
think. I ain't seen any snakes in Barbados.
He really is. But Grenada is where Rihanna's from, right?
No, she's from
Barbados. Okay, so then it was
Grenada is the
Grenada.
island that the United States Army invaded, or was it the British Army?
I don't know. I was
One of
thinking
them
about
armies invaded Grenada, which
that
had
was
nothing,
Britain.
which
That was
was
Britain.
nothing but medical students. Scary shit.
That sounds like what the United States is trying to do to Venezuela.
Yeah, it does.
It sounds just as goofy. It sounds just as goofy, right? Okay, so Grenada, Grenada is how much?
From 235,000.
235,000. That's not bad. That's not bad, right? Again, in Western Europe, it's usually $500,000. So when we're talking about 100,000, 150,000, that's a lot of money. Yes, but if you were going to buy a home, if $150,000 worth of home will get you that, even if you don't want to live there, rent that bitch out. Rent it out. St. Kitts
Make it an
and
income property.
yes, making an income generating property. St. Kitts and Nevis, 250,000. 250,000, y'all. All right. So those are the best of the best. That's tier one. Now this next tier, and oh, by the way, we've got a handout for you. Yes, so you don't even got to ask. We've got all of this as a handout. All right. All right. Tier two. Tier two is best for high earners. And I do know we have high earners watching. And I also know that we have high earners who are not being good stewards of their money. And so, commercial break for a PSA.
Okay.
Y'all, we were talking about this tonight. It's not necessarily how much money you make, it's how much you spend. What percentage you spend of what you make. Okay. Now, if you're making minimum wage, we get it. But most people who are watching are not making minimum wage. All right. So make sure that every dollar has a job. Every dollar has a job. All right. Back to the high earners. High earners, entrepreneurs, those needing immediate protection. Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here we go. So this is citizenship with residency. So that means you start off with residency and then you qualify for citizenship. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a good list because one of the reasons why Portugal stood out and one of the reasons why a lot of folks were moving to Portugal because it was 5 years to citizenship. Now, there are other countries with 5 years. I think France is 5 years to citizenship, but it's harder to get into France. Yes. So that's the thing, right? So if you can get in, heck, you good, right? Spain, 10 years. Italy, I don't think was 5 years. I think that was like 7 to 10 years. Okay. So here we go. Tier 2. This is fast track to naturalization. Number 1,
Argentina.
Now, I'm just going to say Argentina is a bit racist. Where did this go? It's weird how this did this. Look, I don't see Argentina on here.
It's right here.
Oh, there it is. Oh, it weirded out.
Take it from text.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We are still working with this new teleprompter stuff. Y'all work with us, all right? Anyway, all right. So Argentina, 2 years. I'm saying Argentina is racist. If Argentina sparks you, Go there.
Go see it.
See
Boots on the
how
ground.
it affects you. I remember. So when we were here, I was getting facials and all of that stuff, and I was at a hotel, and I ran into this guy who was from Italy, black guy, born and raised in Italy. His people were from like Nigeria, and he's like, so why Portugal? Why not Italy? I said, I found Italy to be racist. He's like, no, that's all in the mind. And dark skinned brother. All right. So we're saying Argentina. It's 2 years and then you can qualify for citizenship. I've heard it's racist, but if you think Argentina could be the place for you, we say check it out. Go to Buenos Aires or someplace like that and check it out. Number 2, Uruguay. So that's down there on the southern tip of South America. It is very modern. Has a strong infrastructure. As a matter of fact, there's nothing on the list. There's no place on the list where we would not live. Okay. On any of these lists that we would not live. Okay, so we pared it down to only the places that we would live. So Uruguay, 3 to 5 years, y'all. 3 to 5 years to citizenship. And I don't know why. I've got a friend who's living down there. He didn't tell me that. Of course, he married an Uruguayan, so maybe he got a fast track. Speaking of Uruguay, number 3. Paraguay, right next to it on the western side of Uruguay, northwest. Paraguay, 3 to 6 years. Again, no one talks about Paraguay. You know why? Because they just pretty much mind their business. And they've been just sitting there minding their business and building their economy and infrastructure and everything else. And it is a great place. All right. So Paraguay, again, it's really down south. And you're going to be on the opposite. So their summers are our winters and vice versa. But Uruguay is definitely on our list. It is on our list. Yes. It is on our list. And if it weren't so damn far down there, so I might have to wait until my mom gets called home. I don't know, but it's on our list. Okay, Mexico, 5 years.
5 years.
Now, caveat, asterisk. One of the lovely things about Mexican residency is that they do not require you to stay in country more than 10 minutes to get your card and then you can jet. Okay. And for us, we have permanent residency, so we can always come back as residents for now, because this is the law, their law. Once you become a citizen, you are required to stay in country a certain amount of time, which is the opposite of every other country that we've considered. Weird. It's a weird thing with Mexico. I don't know if it has to do with its relationship to America geographically. Is that only for naturalized citizens or all citizens? I have no idea, but it's definitely for naturalized citizens. So, caveat. But if you are a homebody, if traveling every other month like we do is not your bag, then that might not be a big deal for you.
Right.
The next one on the list is
Panama.
Panama, y'all. 5 years.
5 years, y'all.
5 years to citizenship. It's right there. It's on the same time zone as New York, I think. Maybe an hour ahead. Maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe. But still, right? It's right there. They operate on the dollar. Lots of folks speak English there. So, and that pensionata program is on point, y'all. Our friends were pulling out that card at every restaurant and everything else, getting a discount, weren't they though? They were. Seriously. So, Panama. All right. So, for people who are really, really ready to fully relocate, here is tier 3. These are strong, stable countries. Costa Rica, 7 years. to citizenship. Okay. I'm going to let you take that.
The next one on the list is Portugal. Moving towards 10 years. We don't know. But
Right. We don't know. We don't know. If they say it is unconstitutional, they might just say it is unconstitutional for the folks who are already in the system. Okay. Because that would be the thing. So if Portugal is on your list, you might want to just go ahead and move your data, y'all. Find a way to move your data. If you need help trying to find a way, book a one-on-one call. That information is in the description below. Seriously, ask some folks in the chat. I don't know. Sometimes you need a third party to look at your situation and find the loopholes,
right.
find the ways to help you. Seriously. All right. So Portugal. Next on our list is
Canada.
3 years. So 3 years, but it depends. So 3 years to permanent residency. And then, but still, for those who are like, oh, I could never leave the United States, but Canada could be a possibility because it's basically the same America Light, same brand of racism and all that stuff, all that good old stuff, but just a little less. There you go. Another America Light.
Australia.
4 years.
4 years.
4 years. All right.
It's
hard to qualify to move to Canada and Australia. I'm just going to let you all know. I remember we started looking at Canada when Sarah Palin, because Sarah Palin basically was the start of the MAGA movement, right? And I was like, if that bitch gets in with her dumb ass, I'm out. And he's like, we out. I was like, good. And we started looking into it. And back in those days, if you had a master's degree, you only needed $10,000 in savings for Canada. But that was what, 2007?
Yes.
2007. So who knows now? All right. A favorite. And we've got friends who moved there and they
moved back there. They lived there.
They lived there. Then they moved here for a few years.
There.
And then they moved back there.
Yeah.
Not because, and they did not want to leave Portugal, but they said God said. So when they say God said, ain't nothing to say. But they loved Portugal. They loved the community. And there was a going away gathering and all of that. And it was tear filled. It really, really was. But they loved them some New Zealand too.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what their community is like in New Zealand because we have an awesome community here in the Lisbon metro area. But 5 years, y'all. 5 years to citizenship. All right. Why are we saying this? Why are we harping on the 2 passports? We are harping on the 2 passports for those who are tuning in late because the Melon Felon has decided that there is going to be a litmus test to who can be American. And the litmus test is very subjective, right? Talking about a net asset with his dumb ass. Well, he's an ass at. Okay, I know that was corny. I know that was corny. But if they are questioning and are able to take citizenship away from naturalized citizens, folks who came at 2 years old, right, and got naturalized at 8 years old or whatever have you, what's to say? And then they start questioning birthright citizenship, which we know he has already tried to attack. And as a matter of fact, I believe the Supreme Court is trying to decide on that, and that's going to be on the June docket, y'all. So what is birthright citizenship? Birthright citizenship says if you are born in America, then you are a citizen. We were born in America. So what? If your parents weren't American, but you were born in America, then I can question it. Or no, you had your grandparents had to be born in America. Your great grandparents had to be born. I don't know. What are we talking about? Because our only right to citizenship is the fact that we were born in America.
Right.
So if you can question that, then that means you can be stateless. You can be homeless, like the movie.
You can be scooped up and
Like,
taken somewhere else.
exactly, right? And so every African American, Black American should have another passport, period, the end. Because we know we are always on the list. And all you FBAs who say we can't, babies, you do not want to end up back on the plantation because somebody's got to pick that damn food. Somebody's got to pick that damn food. And if everybody's getting deported, who's going to pick the damn food? Who's going to pick the food? Oh, I know. Prisoners are going to pick the food.
I haven't done anything wrong. They can't put me in prison.
Now, we know how that story goes.
Yeah.
We know how that story goes. These ICE agents are out here running wild, acting like slave catchers, y'all. Disappearing people. Stop playing. I know I've got a smile on my face, but this is serious. This is serious. I pray that I'm wrong. I pray that I'm being hyperbolic, but what if I'm not? Because they're acting whole ass like slave catchers. Yeah. And history may not repeat itself, but it damn sure rhymes. And right before Nazism was a pandemic, and then a crash, an economic crash. Didn't they say we're in an AI bubble? And isn't this fool messing up the economy? And isn't he a fascist? Stop playing. So we just mentioned all of these places. Now we know Costa Rica, 7 years, Portugal, 5 to 10 years. We'll see what they say. Canada, 3 years for permanent residency. Australia, 4 years. New Zealand, 5 years. And we know that these are longer times, but among the safest politically, right? These are among the safest. All right. Part 3, residency by investment. All right. Investment. All right. Let's see. Let's go back here. All right. Oh, residency by investment, plan B without a passport. So the folks who should be thinking about this, first of all, everybody watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody watching. But let's talk about the people who should have a sense of urgency. Anybody who is a naturalized citizen, any Black person who is a naturalized citizen, first of all, get a passport from your country of birth. It's like, don't they have it? Not all of them, baby. Not all of them, especially if they came as children. Because back in the day, way back in the day, you could bring babies without passports. Everybody didn't have a passport. They had to have a passport way back in the day. This is a newer thing. Okay. So for people who are 50 and stuff like that, they might, if they came at 2, they might not have had to have a passport.
Yeah, true.
You know, or 1.5, a little bit big. Anyway. So people, so that's the safety thing. The other thing is
healthcare.
This fool just decided that he wanted to destroy the American health care system. If you do not know what I'm talking about, babies, you heard, they just unprofessionalized, deprofessionalized, or whatever. All of these professions, including nurse practitioners, For those of you who do not know, nurse practitioners do most of the small scale surgical procedures at most clinics and hospitals. They can write prescriptions. How are they not professional? And now, because they have deprofessionalized them, it means like, okay, let's just say it costs 50 to 60, $70,000 to go to school per year. Okay, back in the day, you could basically borrow from the federal government pretty much all of that. Now they're saying, oh no, $22,000 tops. Nobody's going to go to school for that stuff. Nobody, because nobody can afford it. Well, a few people can afford it, but do they want to be a nurse? So not just nurse practitioners, but other nurses, RNs, LVNs, certified nurses, all of them deprofessionalized. It still costs the same amount to go to school. They're still going to require the same amount of education, but now they're saying, that's nice. There's no loans for you. I give it 10 years. I give it 10 years, and the United States will have a third world country health care system. If health care is a major issue to you, you need to get the hell out. You need to get the hell out now. I'm telling you. If you're tired of the corruption, if you're tired of the hypocrisy, there are countries with less corruption. I don't know if there's any country with no corruption, but there are countries with less corruption than the United States. I mean, the United States right now has third world country corruption. Like they just playing in our faces.
Yeah.
You know, first he used to hide it. Well, I got this hotel across the street. You should probably stay there at $1,000 a night. Oh, and all the Secret Service and stuff. Yeah, y'all got to stay there. You know, now he's just like, all right, $10,000 a plate in the White House. Here we go. So, I mean, what the hell? He might as well start auctioning off the plates in the Blue Room.
Auctioning off the national parks. I wouldn't doubt if he.
Right?
Hey, it's land.
Well, he probably is auctioning off the natural resources underneath the national parks. I bet you he is. I bet you he is.
I got land for sale.
For a piece of the action, right? Right.
I got land for sale.
Right.
Yosemite National Park.
Exactly. Exactly. There are a lot of countries, y'all, that are more stable than the United States appears to be today. There really are. And so if you're looking for some of that stability, if you're looking for a place where there are little to no Karens, if you're looking for a place where being Black is not a liability, there are places. You do not have to deal with that. You do not have to deal with making sure you're looking like you're not stealing when you're walking in a store. That's not normal. It is not normal. It is not normal to freak out and not want to call an ambulance because you think you might go bankrupt. That's not normal in the rest of the world. It is not normal to like freak out if you hear a backfire from a car and duck and duck. That is not normal.
Yeah. No.
It may seem normal for you Americans, but I'm telling you, it is not normal. It is not normal that when you go into an auditorium or a venue that you're marking where the exits are just in case. That's not normal. It's not normal. We went to a Dias de los Muertos celebration out in the vineyards of Querétaro. There were a gang of people out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't nobody worried about nothing.
No.
Nobody was worried about anything. You know, loud noises, oh, those are fireworks. And let me tell you, Mexico's loud. They're going to have them some fireworks. And it's Dias de los Muertos. They're going to have them some fireworks. Nobody was ducking and dodging and like, that is not normal. Having school drills, live shooter drills, that's not normal. We cannot let this be normal. We cannot let this be normal. Okay. All right. All right. So we gave you all of the list. There's some other places, like Thailand, Dubai, and places like that where, um, if you spend upwards of 5 and 6 and 700,000, there are opportunities. They are on our list. Okay. We've got the list. It's in the description below. But we're not going to go over those because I don't think that those are the majority of the people who are on our list. Right. But here's the thing that we do know. All of the countries that we chose, because the list was really long. It was like 146 countries at first. All right. And so as we started paring them down, we made sure that the countries had a strong rule of law.
Yeah.
Right.
Good healthcare.
Good healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
Good, affordable, accessible healthcare. The United States healthcare system is like what, number 37? It's probably worse now.
Something like 38, 36, something like that.
Okay.
In the world.
Another PSA. Y'all, did you guys see the FDA? I'm on healthcare. The FDA has effed up so much. The melon felon has effed up so much that people on Thanksgiving, well, probably the day before Thanksgiving, opening up their can of green beans to make some green bean casserole. And there's not green beans in there. It's corn. Open up the cranberry sauce. There's no cranberry sauce in there. It's water.
What about the meat that people are finding with abscesses on?
And tumors.
And tumors on their meat that they just purchased.
If you're listening, you need to speed up your timeline. Because the melon felon's policies and stupidity will kill you. Opening up a can of green beans and getting corn is hee hee ha ha. But the amount of things that are being allowed into the food systems is not funny. It's deadly. And it's crazy. And I can't even imagine. It would not be allowed here. It just would not be allowed. Half the shit that they put in the food in America is not allowed here. We did a whole video on it. So yeah, they can have health care for everyone. Yes, they are taxed. They are taxed. Okay, let's not get it twisted. But they're not going to go bankrupt if they get sick. But they probably get sick less. Why? Oh, I don't know, because they don't have a bunch of crap in their food. So the capitalistic society makes sure that they feed you a bunch of poison. Mm-hmm. And they don't cure anything. They just put you on some meds that cause all of these side effects to make sure that you go back into the system that you cannot afford. If that is not slavery, tell me what is. There are countries with a much lower racial hostility level. You ain't got to deal with that. You do not have to deal with that. Okay? Like, we could sit in the park and loiter all damn day long and no one would say a word. As a matter of fact, if you, on any given weekday, if you go to any of the parks, there are going to be people in there because people enjoy living here. And then when they're on their break, they will walk out of the office and across the street to the park and sit down on that grass. And there's probably going to be a kiosk that has snacks and that has coffee, and they'll have their coffee or their tea or water or whatever and chill.
Yes.
And at lunchtime, it's going to be covered. It's going to be covered on any given weekday because people know how to live here. And because of that, because we're all rubbing up against each other on public transportation and stuff like that, I can tell you there is low racial hostility. You ain't got to deal with that. It's not normal. Right? You just moved the thing. I don't know where you were. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Okay, there it is. All right. All right. Um, this one, predictable legal processes. Yes, all of the countries on there have predictable legal processes. There's no banana republic. However, Portugal changing the rules midstream is a little, but at least there is a process, right? There is a process. There's not like, well, I don't know what could happen. Yeah, it's
Right.
either going to get signed, and then the president's either going to sign it or he's not going to sign it. And then we know that there is a court process to make sure that it's constitutional. So we know that there is a stable, orderly process,
Yeah.
clear written rules, right? Exactly. This is real pathways to citizenship, not some arbitrary stuff. All right. All of the countries that are on the list have all of these characteristics. All right. Let's see what you guys are talking about, and then we'll let you go. Tell them, Alicia. Y'all, I start getting on a roll. Oh my gosh, it's time to go. I know it's time to go because I'm grandstanding and I'm filibustering. Um, oh, yay! Killer Queen is in Montevideo. Oh my gosh, I wanted to go. I wanted to go. I wanted to go. So you're in Uruguay, beautiful city on the coast. See, y'all, the world is huge. It is huge. But it's just too far south. I know, and way too hard to get to. I know. So she's in Buenos Aires. But we have friends who are in Montevideo, and they love it. They love it, and they vacation in Florianopolis, Brazil. But yeah, it is down there. It is down there. But so it just depends. You've got to decide what you want your daily life to look like. And here's the thing, y'all, especially with global warming and everything like that, we're going to have to consider places that we might not have considered in the past.
Places that we just think are safe, that we know of.
Exactly. Yep. 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 All right.
Who's that idiot?
I'm sure he got banned on YouTube. Foundational Black American, as opposed to those, from Haiti, from Dominica, from Venezuela, from Colombia, from Africa, from any of the countries in Africa, whatever. Well, they have a passport. They have the passport that they got into America with. So, yeah, the people who need a passport are the people who are depending upon American passport that can get taken away from them. That's what we talk about. So yeah, okay. Let me just tell you. So this FBA thing, everyone who says they're FBA is not an asshole. That's not what I'm saying. But I do know that its origins are not altruistic or positive. That's number one. Number two, I'm Pan African. And so when I say that, what I mean is anyone who identifies as their ancestors coming from the continent of Africa, I count you as a brother or sister. And then after that, anybody who counts themselves as a human and a humanist, I count as a brother or sister, right? So um I think that we are better when we stand together. And I think anything that is divisive, then I have to question who is going to benefit from us being divided. And if who benefits from us being divided is my enemy, then it's probably not a good idea if I'm divided with that person or that community.
Right.
That's number one. Number two, from a spiritual standpoint, it is an oxymoron to not be in fellowship with people who could look like your cousins. It makes no sense, especially as an American. Like if I were from Venezuela, if I were from Colombia, I might have a different view on it because they don't look at race the same way. America built this stuff, right? Like Nazism and all that came from America. Apartheid came from America. They studied America, right? With everything in America is about race. Everything, right? It's just goofy, isn't it? But not everywhere else. Not everywhere else. That's for damn sure. All right. What else? Let's get back on subject here. Exactly. It's so stupid. It really, really is. Race is a construct of capitalism and white supremacy. I wonder, what would be interesting? I wonder if capitalism can exist without white supremacy. What do you think? I have no idea. All right. Go all the way to the end, see what you guys are talking about, and then we'll let you go. Ooh, what was that? What was that? Did I catch that yet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got that. Okay, good. Okay, I got that one too. Dang, y'all. We're not going to be able to get to all these questions. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I'm going all the way to the bottom. We are so far behind. I do. Come on, Benita. Yes, you do. I want someone to put in the chat why Black Trumpers exist. And for all of you who are in the chat who is a Black Trumper, just know this is probably going to be the last time that you're allowed in. But yeah, like we know. And I want to hear you say it. I want to hear you say why there are Black Trumpers. Thank you. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you. I love human beings. And I especially love human beings who love human beings. It's hard to love a human being who only loves certain folks, So we are so ready to move. I know, y'all. I know. Look, keep your eye on the prize. And I'm going to tell you, I remember, come on. I remember trying to Calgon soak my stress away. I remember just walking videos of the places that we wanted to live and just sitting in the backyard and I'm just in tears because I'm so effing stressed out and I just don't want to be there. I get it. What I'm saying is keep your eye on the prize, babies. Keep your eye on the prize, okay? And don't let it get you too down because your day will come. Heard he's preparing to fire FBI head Patel.
That dude is an idiot. Oh God,
every time I see him, he's like, he looks like somebody just gave him a wedgie.
Huh? And he keeps getting caught in lies. Not all of them don't get caught in lies, but every time he opens his mouth, he's lying.
Because his boss is lying every time he opens his mouth.
So stupid.
Tell me a time can you guys find one time where the melon felon was on TV or did some and didn't have at least one lie? Has he ever opened his mouth and not at least said one lie? Unless he only says one word like groceries. An interesting word, groceries, or some dumb shit like that. It's a damn shame to have to look for food not from the US when grocery shopping. Been buying a lot of product from Canada and other countries more and more. Cut meat consumption way down. I like, again, I know I'm smiling right now, but I really, really, really am concerned about y'all. I really am. I'm concerned about um our kids and grandkids. And this is not funny. So for all of you, we don't have the luxury of being able to have a huge garden or anything, right? We don't have a lot of outdoor space. We have very, very little, just a little balcony. You two are on a roll today. Love the shade. MTG was rolled under the bus, right? And has resigned. She's such a wussy. She is such a wussy. Oh my gosh. She can dish it out, but she can't take it. Like there, there might be some strategy into what she's doing, but right now she just looks like a wussy. That's all I got to say. Wuss, wuss, wuss. She couldn't walk. She could not walk one day in a black woman's shoes. Not one day, and she would just be a puddle, wouldn't she? Oh, wussy ass witch. You know what? God bless anyone who wants to stay and fight. I'm not sure what you are fighting for, but I do know that there are some people who will not be capable of leaving before it gets worse. And so, if you want to stay and fight, and if that fighting helps prolong the time where it gets worse for some of our folks, then I'm like all for it, right? Just don't hate on the ones who don't want to. Um, my grandfather, my grandmother, both on both sides, gave their lives for that country. My mom and my dad gave their lives to that country to make it better. And he got, in exchange for his heroic patriotism, he got put on a COINTELPRO list and blacklisted and called a communist and got his security pass taken away. He got put in jail for no reason. He got harassed by the FBI. This is the country that you are fighting for. Know who you are fighting for. Because this is the history. This is what they do. And they haven't changed. So do not fight for the country that we lost. Fight for the country that they have promised. At least do that. Because the status quo was never good enough for us. And with that, we're going to let y'all go. We love you. And we'll see you on Thursday. Bye.